pages for John Mueller's club. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Milch, you noted, experience against the Great Danes and pitched very well against them earlier in the year when Stony Brook swept them in a 4-game series. Schurer, on the other hand, gave up 7 runs over 4 2/3 against Stony Brook. So we'll see if they've tinkered or learned anything from their first time around. Yeah, I got to go all the way back to late March when these two teams met. They've changed a great deal since then.
Yeah, that series in late March was absolutely dominated by Stony Brook. They swept a 4-game series, like you said, in 2 days. Stony Brook scored 48 runs in just 4 games. The last one was an 11-0 game victory for the Seawolves in just 6 innings as they take the field right now. That game started at 9 a.m. where the Seawolves won 11-0. And it was canceled, and Stony Brook was given the win due to inclement weather. So the early starts should be no issue for Stony Brook, especially against this UAlbany team. As they take the field, Jared Milch will start his warm-up pitches. The leadoff hitter, Dolan O'Castle, stands on the on-deck circle as we get set for Game 3. Remember, full 9-inning game as the clock hits 10 o'clock here on the campus of Stony Brook. Win or go home in this double elimination style bracket for the America East tournament. Yesterday, Albany's pitcher was Ray Weber. Today they will have Craig Schurer against the Stony Brook Seawolves. Both starting pitchers yesterday for both Stony Brook and Albany took the loss in both hard battled games, but 2 heartbreakers for both teams. So they will sure to be coming out swinging here. I would expect more of an offensive battle than we saw yesterday from these two teams. They're going to want to get the bats going early and quick against these two pitchers.
Well, no matter how you shake it up, offensive, defensive, or pitching, most of the time it's 2 America East teams. You're going to get a battle in some way, shape, or form, and we had that yesterday. We went 2 for 2 in terms of battles. Stony Brook and Maine in the first game, and then UAlbany and NJIT in Game 2. Back and forth they went. And the Great Danes, in fact, had a tying run in the 9th inning on second base with nobody out. Could not bring him home. So the 2 division leaders will meet today, win or go home. It's a shame that somebody's season has to end today, but it will.
And if it is Stony Brook's season that ends today, there will be a new America East champion crowned, as Stony Brook is the reigning America East champion from 2019, as there was no America East tournament in 2020. So Dolan O'Castle steps into the box, batting righty against Jared Milch. As he steps into the mound, sit back and enjoy Game 3 of this America East tournament. First pitch from Milch is a fastball in their first strike, and we are underway. Dolan O'Castle steps in with a 250 batting average with no home runs and 13 RBIs on the year. The 0-1 is in their first strike, another fastball on the inside corner, and quickly it's 0-2 from Milch to O'Castle. Milch, one of these guys that likes to waste no time on the mound at the start of games. Here's the 0-2, just missed inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes here.
I think all 3 of his pitches so far were close enough where it could have been a ball or a strike, and you'd have no arguments.
Good eye from O'Castle there, realizing it was inside. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing. He did not go around. Seems the players from the Stony Brook bench thought he did. It was a tough check swing, but he held up just in time.
Well, you always want to play it out. Catcher John Ticillo picked up the loose ball, immediately applied the tag. Simultaneously, they said no swing.
Here's the 2-2. That one outside the plate, and after an 0-2 start, Jared Milch falls behind O'Castle 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. Grounded to the right side, picked up by the second baseman Brett Paulson. Throw on to first, and O'Castle is retired for the first out here in Game 3. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jason Bottery.
The center fielder, number 38, Jason Bottery.
With 1 out here in the top of the first, in a scoreless game in Game 3 of this winner-go-home series between Stony Brook and Albany. First pitch to Bottery is in their first strike, breaking ball from Jared Milch. Pottery comes in with a .262 batting average, also has no home runs, but has 28 RBIs on the year. Milch sets. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and grounded right back to Milch. He makes the easy catch, tosses it on over to first, and just like that, there are 2 groundouts and 2 outs here in the top of the first. Nice reflexes there from Milch. Hard hit ball right back to him. Able to recover without panicking to make the grab. That'll bring up Brad Malm, the shortstop, batting third. Malm out of Medford, New York. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Malm's batting .339 on the year, good for second on this Great Dane lineup. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and missed. Nice breaking ball there from Milch to get back at 1-1. Malm also has 4 home runs on the year to go along with 37 RBIs. Here's the 1-1. Another swing and a miss on a breaking ball from Jared Milch, and it's 1-2. Wasting no time, here it comes. Chopped over Milch's head up the middle, and a diving play by Stan Luther. It will not matter. Brad Malm will be safe at first. So the Great Danes get a 2-out base runner in Brad Malm, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Johnny Marty.
Well, you wanted to avoid a situation where Johnny Marty comes to the plate with runners on. He's hitting .358. That was 3rd best of the conference. 7 long balls, 41 runs batted in. So a dangerous hitter here in the Great Danes lineup.
As is almost anyone on this Great Dane lineup. Good for first place in Division A of the America East. As Marty's first pitch, he drew bunt and bunted it foul. Interesting tactic with 2 outs here. Brad Malm on first with 2 outs and no score here at Joe Nathan Field. Milch sets. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another bunt is drawn, and that one is bunted foul as well. So not sure what the strategy is here. You know, Johnny Marty has some speed, but he's going to need a lot of it if he wants to get this inning going. Continue this inning for the Great Danes offense. As Malm leads off of first, here comes the 0-2. That one in the dirt. Good eye from Johnny Marty to stay alive at 1-2. Marty out of St. James, New York. A Suffolk County resident. Here comes the 1-2. That one chopped right back to Milch. This makes the easy toss on over to first. So 2 putouts for Jared Milch in the inning. Strands Brad Malm at first. We've played half an inning here at Joe Nathan Field in this winner-go-home game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. Going to the bottom of the first, we'll get you lineups for Stony Brook when we come back. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB. Back to you, Zach, in the studio.
Thanks, James. So, we're here in the studios of WUSB once again today, and let's start off as we usually do, the scores and updates to follow. Believe it or not, Stony Brook and UAlbany is not the only earliest game to keep your eyes on in baseball today. There's also another game that's supposed to be happening any minute now. 15th ranked TCU against 5th ranked Texas Tech. If you remember me talking about them yesterday, well, apparently their game had to be made up this morning because they had inclement weather yesterday. Their matchup against each other will be in a matter of moments. Followed by that, a couple of more games in conference tournament play at 11 a.m. 4th ranked Tennessee against Alabama in Game 13 of the SEC tournament. Also at 11 a.m., 7th ranked Notre Dame taking on Virginia in Game 10 of the ACC tournament. We got games that happened last night in hockey. The Canadiens fending off a comeback by Toronto in overtime to force Game 6 against the Maple Leafs. Also with that, you get the Hurricanes coming back from being down 3-1 in the second period. They win the series against the Nashville Predators 4-2 with a 4-3 win in overtime last night. They will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in round 2. More scores to follow, but for now, let's head back to Johnny and James at Joe.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at Joe Nathan Field. I'm James D'Elia. He's Johnny Wincott. Bottom of the first we go in this winner-go-home game against UAlbany and Stony Brook. Let's get you the Stony Brook starting lineup here. Not much different from yesterday against the University of Maine. Leading off, playing center field, is John LaRocca, just like yesterday. Evan Giordano follows him, usually in that leadoff spot. He's playing third base. Chris Hamilton in the third hole, playing first base. In the cleanup spot, John Ticillo playing catcher. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, Stanton Luthner. Following him is Brad Hipsley, the DH. In the seventh spot, Evan Fox, the freshman left fielder. Batting eighth, playing right field, is Cole Durkin. And to wrap things up for the Seawolves, it is Brett Paulson playing second base. So Scherer steps in against John LaRocca. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. And the bottom of the first has begun. Scherer comes in with a 4-3 record, a 5.69 ERA, making his 12th start of the year for the Great Danes. Here comes the 0-1, foul to the backstop. Sure, you all heard that one, and it's 0-2.
I think at this point, throughout the entire season, we've learned the best place to put that crowd mic.
Right there. So as Jared Milch got his first batter in an 0-2 spot, Scherer comes to LaRocca with an 0-2. Here it comes. Breaking ball upstairs, just missed. And it's 1-2. That one was a dangerous pitch right there, as he left a hanging breaking ball there for LaRocca to hit, but he laid off the ball outside the zone. Here's the 1-2 again. Fouled off by LaRocca. And we'll do it again. So it'll be LaRocca, Giordano, Hamilton to start things off, as the Seawolves did yesterday. They were unable to get things done against Nicholas Sinicola, the pitcher of the year, as that one is fouled off. Nicholas Sinicola for Maine, the America East pitcher of the year and the America East strikeout leader, who set a single season record in strikeouts during the regular season. We will not see the rest of him for the rest of this America East tournament. Did a great job of putting Maine in a good spot to get that America East championship. Here comes the 1-2 again. That one is popped up to the left side. Going to be a tough play for anyone. Who's going to grab it? It's in foul territory, and it lands foul. The entire left side of the infield and the left fielder Daly gave it a ride, but nobody was able to make the play. So we'll do it again, as LaRocca was already trotting around first on his way to second. He comes back to home plate. Still a 1-2 count in this scoreless game here at Joe Nathan Field between Stony Brook and UAlbany. Here comes the 1-2. That one upstairs and in for ball 2. LaRocca with a .331 batting average, has 3 home runs and 22 RBIs on the year. Become one of the regulars for Matt Sank in this Stony Brook lineup. Speedy center fielder. Scherer sets with the 2-2, gone to the left side, picked up by the shortstop Maul. Throw on to first, a low throw, but in time to get John LaRocca for the first out here. Brad Maul, one of the
Evan Giordano.
UAlbany, one of the 2 UAlbany first team All-America East Conference players, makes the toss on over to his first baseman File. And that'll bring up Evan Giordano with 1 out, nobody on here in a scoreless game. First pitch is chopped right back to Scherer, as Jared Milch did in the first. Scherer tosses on over to first. And just like that, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
The first baseman, number 3, Chris Hamilton.
So 2 outs, nobody on. No hits for the Seawolves yet. Chris Hamilton steps in. Batting .327 on the year. Leads this Stony Brook offense in batting average right now. As he first pitch attacks and it goes on over to File. He will take it to the bag. unassisted, so 1, 2, 3, the Seawolves go down in the bottom of the first. No score here at Joe Nathan Field in this winner-take-all game. We go to the second inning as Jared Milch will start his second inning of work. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB. Back to you, Zach, in the studio.
And back in the studios of WUSB, let's get into more recaps from last night. Talked about the NHL, moving on to the NBA. The Bucks once again with a masterful performance led by Drew Holiday at 19 points, a double-double with 12 assists. Bucks put the Heat on the verge of elimination as they win 113-84. The LA Lakers winning back-to-back games on another masterful performance by Anthony Davis. Lakers win 109-95 and take a 2-1 series lead against the Phoenix Suns. The Denver Nuggets at Portland last night. Nikola Jokic with a double-double and 36 points and 11 rebounds leads the Nuggets to a 2-1 series lead over the Portland Trailblazers with a 120-115 win last night. 3 games tonight, 2 of them are your locals in action. The New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks tied up at 1 in their series, taking each other on at the State Farm Arena at 7 p.m. on ESPN. An hour and a half later at the TD Garden in Boston, the Brooklyn Nets up 2-0 in the series against the Boston Celtics. Kyrie Irving making another homecoming. He'll take on his former team at 8:30 on ABC. And at 9:30 at ESPN later tonight, the Dallas Mavericks up 2-0 against the LA Clippers in the series. They will host LA tonight. Let's go back to Joe Nathan Field.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at Joe Nathan Field. Scoreless game here as we go to the top of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 due up for UAlbany as Jared Milch steps on the bump, ready for his second inning of work. First pitch to the catcher, Josh Gernak, is a ball. Gernak comes in with a .271 batting average. Here's the 1-0, swung on and missed, strike 1. So following him will be Mark Wagenstein and Will File. 5, 6, 7 due up. Here's the 1-1 in the dirt for ball 2. The winner of this game will play the loser of the game coming up next, Maine versus NJIT. The 2-1 is chopped to the left side, picked up by the third baseman, Evan Giordano, spins and throws it on the first for out number 1. Nice play from Giordano to get the first out here in the second inning.
The right fielder, number 7, Mark Wagenstein.
Well, you know Milch is keeping the ball down. Every single out he's recorded so far has been via the ground ball.
Great Dane's getting some good hitting on it. You hear the loud cracks of the bats, but unfortunately not able to lift the ball outside of this infield so far. First pitch to Mark Wagenstein. It's in there for a strike. Wagenstein making his 200th appearance, his 200th game for UAlbany. Only the 4th player in UAlbany history to do that, as the 0-1 is swung on and missed. Nice breaking ball there from Milch to get ahead 0-2. Milch wasting no time. Here comes the 0-2. That one outside and low for ball 1. So both these teams number 1 seeds in their respective divisions in the America East, falling to the upset yesterday. Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed. And Jared Milch has his first strikeout of the day. Comes via the breaking ball, keeping it low, like you said, Johnny.
The first baseman, number 25,
It ain't broken,
Will
don't fix it.
File.
Yeah, and so far for Jared Milch, nothing has seemed to be broken other than that single to Brad Malm. He's been perfect.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Will File. Batting .225 on the year. Facing Milch for the first time. Here's the first pitch. Outside for ball 1 in this scoreless game. Top of the second, 10:19 shows on the clock. Here comes the 1-0. That one, I don't know, missed somewhere, I guess. And it's 2-0. Looked like a sure fastball, but good thing we are not umpires, Johnny.
It's a good spot to miss, we'll say that.
Milch not phased. Here comes the 2-0. That one drilled into the left center field gap, and it will get down for a base hit. Evan Fox quickly over to cut it off to prevent File from moving on over to second. So, second straight inning the Great Danes get a 2-out single
11, John Daly.
to hopefully try and spark a rally here early in this game. That'll bring up the left fielder John Daly in the 8 hole. So 2 outs. Runner on first in Will File. First pitch to Daly. Outside for ball 1. Daly comes in. The righty batter batting .254 on the year, making his 46th start of the year. Has 3 long balls to go along with 22 RBIs. Here comes the 1-0. Inside for ball 2. No score. Top of the second. Great Danes with 2 hits against Jared Milch so far. One of them on first base in Will File. Milch sets. Here's the 2-0. That one low for ball 3. And Milch falls behind the 8-hitter, John Daly. 9-hitter, Josh Loeffler, who hit a home run yesterday, a pinch hit home run, is on deck. Followed by the top of the lineup for the Great Danes. Milch sets. Here's the 3-0. That one in there for a strike. No easy pitches for this Great Dane lineup. They'll have to swing if they want to get on base here against Milch. Or at least that's what he thinks. Here comes the 3-1. That one swung on and fouled back. And it is a full count. So File will be in motion on first with a full count and 2 outs. And John Daly, the batter, looking to do some damage here with 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. In there, strike 3 called. Jared Milch, after falling behind 3-0, comes back to get John Daly for his second strikeout of the day and the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second in a scoreless game here at Joe Nathan Field in this winner-go-home game against UAlbany and Stony Brook. Bottom of the second, when we come back, you're listening to 90.1 WUSB. Back to you, Zach, in the studio.
Thanks, James. So now back in the studios of WUSB, let's move on to Major League Baseball. Besides the baseball that you're listening to in college level, it's time for another pro one. New York baseball sports yesterday went 3 of 4, Mets sweeping the Rockies, and they will be facing off against their NL East rival, the Atlanta Braves, tonight at Citi Field. Tayshaun Walker, coming back from the IL, slated to make another start against Ian Anderson. First game of the day in Major Leagues, it'll be the Chicago Cubs taking on the Cincinnati Reds. You also get the New York Yankees after they split the doubleheader yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays. They'll be in Detroit tonight. Garrett Cole, 6-2 so far this year with a 1.81 ERA, taking on Mizey, as the Yankees will look to try and get their 30th win of the season. A big game to watch out for tonight as well. The Houston Astros hosting the hottest team in baseball, the San Diego Padres. Valdez on the mound for the Astros. Lamet going to be that one for the Padres. More games later tonight. You get later today at 6:35, the Pirates hosting the Rockies. At 7:05, the Nationals will host the Brewers. And at 7:10, you get the Cleveland Indians taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Thank you, Zach. John Tichello steps in and swings one into center field. The center fielder, first pitch, Bottery makes the catch. First pitch, John Tichello flies out to center. Right here at Joe Nathan Field, James D'Elia Jonny Wincott. Bottom of the second, we are in this scoreless game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. So 1 out here in the bottom of the second. It'll bring up Stanton Luthner. Luthner, the sophomore shortstop out of New Providence, New Jersey, steps into bat against Scherer in his second inning of work. Takes a breaking ball at the knees for a strike. Luthner batting .265 on the year, making his 33rd start for the Seawolves. Here's the 0-1. That one low this time for ball 1. Just missed at the knees. So no score here, bottom 2. Stony Brook, UAlbany. That one is laced into center field. And misjudging it is Bottery, and it's over his head. And it'll go to the wall as Stan Luthner takes the turn at second. He's going for third. The throw on to third, and Luthner is thrown out at third. Got a little greedy there was Luthner, After Bottery misjudged the ball, he was able to recover, pick up the ball, hit his cutoff man, and the throw on to third gets Luthner for the second out here.
There is a lot to unpack from that one play. First off, even though Luthner hit it right on the screws, Boteri should have had it in center, misjudged it. Then Luthner probably should have had third, kind of tripped midway through the bag, and was out with a good throw and a good slide as well. But we saw a base running blunder yesterday by Stony Brook. I wouldn't go so far to call this one a blunder, but Luthner kind of tripped over his own feet halfway to third.
In any case, 2 on, nobody out here. They'll bring up Brad Hipsley. Took a ball at first. That one called for a strike, and it's 1-1. So nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second of this scoreless game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. Here's the 1-1. Low for ball 2. So the winner of this game will play the loser of Maine versus NJIT, and the loser of this game is eliminated from America East play. Here comes the 2-1 to Hipsley. Swung on and missed. Fastball there from Schur to get back ahead at 2-2. If he can keep it going, Evan Fox, the freshman left fielder, will be on deck. Here comes the 2-2. That one in there. Strike 3 called, and just like that, another technically 1-2-3 inning
For the Seawolves in the second.
Brett
No runs,
Schur.
no errors, no
Seawolves
left
get a
on
hit,
base.
but
End of 2.
he was
Scoreless.
thrown out, so that does it for the bottom of the second. We go to the third inning here in this scoreless game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB. We'll be right back. Back to you, Zach, in the studio.
Thanks. So we're back here in the studios once more of WUSB. Let's move on to the softball side. We got multiple games happening today. Super regionals in the NCAA softball tournament, starting with the one in Tuscaloosa. Third-ranked Alabama taking on 16th ranked Kentucky at 1 p.m. Big-time SEC rivalry to watch for in the NCAA tournament. In the Norman Super Regional, top-ranked Oklahoma at 3 p.m. against 7th-ranked Washington. In the Gainesville Super Regional, 4th-ranked Florida hosting their SEC rival in Georgia at 5 p.m. Also at 5 p.m. in the Stillwater Super Regional, 5th-ranked Oklahoma State hosting 15th-ranked Texas. Baton Rouge Super Regional, Game 2 between 8th-ranked Florida State and 9th-ranked LSU. In the Fayetteville Super Regional, 10th-ranked Arizona, who played against the America East champion UMBC Retrievers, will be taking on 6th-ranked Arkansas tonight at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m. in the Columbia Super Regional, 12th-ranked Missouri, taking on 22nd-ranked James Madison at 9. At 9:30, Game 2 between 2nd-ranked UCLA and 20th-ranked Virginia Tech. The games last night between both squads. Results unclear. We'll get to more on that, but for now, back to Joe and Nathan Field.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at Joe Nathan Field on the campus of Stony Brook University in this scoreless game between UAlbany and Stony Brook. To bat is the 9-hitter Josh Loeffler, playing DH today. And he swings on a foul ball, and the count is 0-2. Loeffler, the 9-hitter, came in to pinch hit yesterday for the Great Danes and hit a solo home run to make the score 5-4. Unfortunately, that is where the score ended, as that one is fouled off, and it remains 0-2. So 9-1-2 due up for the Great Danes here in the top of the third. As Milch ready for this 0-2 pitch. Here it comes. Another foul to the right side near the dugout. Nobody on the Seawolves dugout seemed to flinch on that one.
I don't think they had time to flinch.
So it stays 0-2. Nobody got hurt on that one. Here comes that 0-2. Outside for ball 1. Loeffler comes in with a .209 batting average, making his 30th appearance, just his 19th start of the year for the Great Danes. Here, the 1-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. And Jared Milch has his 3rd strikeout of the day.
Jared Milch's last 3 outs have all been recorded via the strikeout. Wangenstein, John Daly, Josh Loeffler. So he's taking advantage of the bottom half of the lineup as we flip the lineup card now and go back to the top.
Top of the lineup we go, like you said. Dolan O'Castle steps in and turns out of the way of a breaking ball, but it came back to bite him as it's called a strike to Dolan O'Castle. So nobody on, one out here in a scoreless game. 0-1. Grounded right back to Milch again. He makes the toss on over to first. Nice plays by Jared Milch early in this game. Already has 3 putouts for the Seawolves. And just like that, there are 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Milch has recorded 8 outs so far. And they've either come via the strikeout or the ground out.
That'll bring up the 2-hitter, Jason Batari. He takes a fastball from Milch in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Batari, one of those outs, grounded back out to Jared Milch in the first inning. Here comes the 0-1. That one chopped, and guess who? Back to Jared Milch. Tosses again, on over to first, and Milch has his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. So no score, no runs, no hits for the Great Danes in the top half of the third. We go to the bottom of the third. Seawolves will look to get it going against Craig Scherer. Back to you, Zach, in the studio. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB.
Thanks, James. So back in the studios of WUSB, more sports to talk about that's happening later today, including one in an hour and a half in Towson. The NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament entering the Final Four. The Stony Brook Seawolves were close last weekend, but fell to North Carolina 14-11. With that, the Tar Heels will be taking on Charlotte North and the Boston College Golden Eagles in an ultimate ACC battle to watch on ESPNU. That game will be at noon. After that, at 2:30, the Syracuse Orange getting a tough win against upstart Florida Gators squad with their midfielder Shane Kavanaugh. Unfortunately lost to the Orange last weekend as well. Syracuse will be taking on Izzy Skane and the Northwestern Wildcats. Also another big battle to watch. Half of the Final Four are undefeated teams. What more could happen? We'll see about that. But for now, let's head back to Joe Nathan Field, where Johnny and James will be on for the bottom of the third inning.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at Joe Nathan Field on the campus of Stony Brook. Still a scoreless game in this win-or-go-home game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. We'll face the bottom of the lineup for the Seawolves here. Will Craig Scherer in the 7, 8, and 9 hitters as Evan Fox steps in. First pitch, swinging. Craig Mull makes a nice play there at shortstop on the short hop ground ball to get Evan Fox on the first pitch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Craig Scherer.
He's faced 7 batters, so yet to get 1 time through the lineup, but Scherer has been impressive. This is the guy that gets the follow-up Nick Sinicola for the Stony Brook lineup. You figure that they'd like to jump on top of him.
He definitely is no Nick Sinicola after what the Seawolves faced yesterday. They were able to tack on 2 runs, but not enough to beat that Black Bear team who scored 4. So Cole Durkin steps in, looking to get the first hit, and he will, as that one is laced into center field. And Cole Durkin has a 1-out single here. Oh, well, they do have a hit, but so that's the second hit, but Stan Luthner was caught trying to extend his double into a triple.
Nice little start to the tournament for Cole Durkin, who went 2 for 4 yesterday, provided that solo home run of the 7th, so 3 hits and 5 at-bats for the guy who is occupying the 8 hole for Matt Sank's group.
So that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Brett Paulson, with a runner on and 1 out. That one is flown. Missed badly, did Scherer there, and it's 1-0.
Now, we'll say for the Seawolves yesterday, despite the fact that they're facing Sinicola, they had a base runner on in every single inning. They just did not do a good job of taking advantage of the opportunities, and you think back to the base running blunder in the 8th by Tuchillo.
That one is flown into the right center field gap. Out to go is the second baseman Marty. He makes the grab. Cole Durkin will retreat back to first.
Tell you what, with the win today, any pop-up is certainly not a guarantee, especially when it's in right center. So yesterday, the wind was blowing out toward right field. We saw a bunch of home runs. Today, it's coming in from right field. So nothing is guaranteed if it's in the air.
Back to the top of the lineup we go, and I'm not sure what you would rather have, the sun in your eyes or the white clouds camouflaging that white baseball. I'm sure these guys have an answer for that. So 1 runner on first, as that one is lined to the right side file, knocks it down and picks it up to retire the side. Nice play there from File to recover to get the out on John LaRocca, and the Seawolves are retired in the bottom of the third. Still no score here. We go to the top of the fourth inning here at Joe Nathan Field in this winner-go-home game. 0-0 we stand. We go back to Zach in the studio. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB.
Thanks, James. So once again, back in the studios of WUSB. We got some more games to talk about. Just one in the NHL today. Tonight, actually, at 9 p.m. Game 7 in Las Vegas between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. We got more games happening tomorrow afterwards. A couple of games to watch out for. Game 6 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens at 7:30. And then at 8 p.m. tomorrow on NBC, it's your New York Islanders in round 2 against the Boston Bruins. Both the Islanders and the Bruins, the lowest seeds from the Eastern Division, making surprising wins against their foes. Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins have been eliminated throughout the last 3 seasons in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Things have really taken a turn, especially since Barry Trotz was named the head coach for the New York Islanders after his successful stint with the Capitals the season before he became the head coach for the Islanders. You recall beating Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games to give the Capitals that Stanley Cup victory. But there'll be more to talk about. But now, let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Student athletes, professional development opportunities, and more. Learn up and sign up today at americaeast.com/alums, or check out the America East Alumni Network pages on LinkedIn and Facebook for more information.
Back at Joe Nathan Field, we venture for the top half of the 4th inning. He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Glad you could join us. Game 3 of the 2021 America East Baseball Tournament. In a double elimination style tournament, the Great Danes and the Seawolves each suffered a loss yesterday in day 1. So the winner of this game will advance to tomorrow. The loser, their season is over. No score, top 4. Brad Malm steps in. Jared Milch, the left-hander, out of the windup. First pitch is a fastball right down the middle, 0-1. Malm singled in the first. One of 2 hits so far for the Great Danes, each team with 2 hits. Milch working quickly with some good pace, his 0-1. There's a breaking ball in there for strike 2. Malm has enjoyed playing against Stony Brook this season. The numbers would tell you he enjoys playing against anybody. But now 8 for 14 after that first inning single. The 0-2, Milch climbs the ladder, Malm not buying, and the count runs to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it is his hometown of Long Island. He's from Medford, New York, so I'm sure he loves playing here.
1-2 is fouled over the screen. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the only issue with that is the 4-game series back in late March that was played in the state capital.
And we all know what happened there.
1-2 in the dirt. Tichillo takes it off to protection. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. All 4 games were wins for Stony Brook, and all 4 games were decided by 3 or more runs. So Stony Brook, and that's when they were kind of establishing their dominance in this conference early on, showing that, hey, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. 2-2 pitch is grounded softly to the left side. Stays fair for the third baseman, Giordano, and he goes across the diamond for out number 1. Now let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groundouts today induced by Jared Milch. It's the 7 groundouts and the 3 strikeouts, and that makes up his 10 outs so far.
And there's been no flyouts, no lineouts, no pop-outs. It's all been groundouts or strikeouts for Jared Milch so far.
Left-handed swinging second baseman Johnny Marty steps in. Lefty to the lefty. Fastball low and away, count 1-0. Marty, first team All-America East this year. In the regular season was the conference leader in hits, RBIs, total bases, and sac flies. The 1-0 is a breaking ball, just missed off the outer edge, 2-0. Yesterday in the 5-4 loss against NJIT, he finished up 1 for 4 with a double. UAlbany only had 7 hits in the game, but 4 of them were doubles. 2-0 offer. Fouled off of home plate. Might have clipped a piece of the catcher, Tichillo. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike on Marty, who during that regular season finished up with a .358 batting average. 3rd best in the conference. 2-1 pitch. Another foul ball, this one to the right side. Nestles next to the Stony Brook dugout. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marty, the cleanup hitter in John Mueller's lineup. the America East Coach of the Year for the second consecutive season. Here's a 2-2. Chopped off of home plate, and this is a foul ball. Ticillo quickly out of his crouch to touch it in foul territory. We stay at a 2-2 count.
That one close to being another play for Jared Milch. It stayed foul, but a little bit more power, and Jared Milch could have had an opportunity for his 5th putout.
Another 2-2, and another foul ball behind home plate.
That one seemed to have clipped Marty in the leg. He's walking it off on the right side.
We noted the prior batter, Brad Mulm, has had a lot of success this season against Stony Brook. That holds true for Marty as well. Went 5 for 15 in the 4-game set. Also drove in 4 runs. Nobody's driven in anything yet today. We're scoreless top 4. Win or go home. Another 2-2. Fisted foul left side. Another foul ball.
Great at bat here from Marty. The first real battle we've seen against Jared Milch so far. Everything's been quick pitches early in the count, either outs or singles.
2-2. You already know it. Foul ball. Indicated by our home plate umpire. Got a piece of Marty while still in the box. So the 9th pitch of the at-bat is forthcoming from Milch to Marty. Johnny Marty, who started his collegiate career in Easton, Pennsylvania as a member of the Lafayette College Leopards. 2-2. On the ground, hard hit right side. Second baseman Paulson on the outfield grass has it and throws to first in time. It's another ground out. Make it the 8th of the game. And that'll bring up Josh Gernak with 2 down and nobody on.
Well, Stony Brook had the shift on there. The shortstop, Stan Luthner, was just on the right side of second base. And that ball was hit right into the gap between second and first, where Brett Paulson luckily was.
First pitch to the catcher, Josh Gernak, is tipped foul into Ticillo's mitt, 0-1. Gernak, as you figured, grounded out in the 2nd inning to Evan Giordano. Second team All-America East this season. Here comes the 0-1. Big wave and a miss on a breaking pitch low in the zone. Milch works ahead, 0-2. Gernak as well on the America East All-Academic team, 3rd straight season, a 3.86 GPA. 0-2, swung through. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
For UAlbany in the 4th, no runs,
Strikeout number 4 for Jared Milch, and his second 1-2-3 inning. We played 3.5 at Joe Nathan Field. No score between UAlbany and Stony Brook. We head back to the WUSB studios with Zach Wilson.
Thanks, Johnny. So, we're back here in the studios of WSB. Time to get you more scores and updates. No Major League Baseball game until 2:20 today. So, our game is most likely not going to be happening while the first game Major League will be in action. But that first game is the Chicago Cubs hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Alzolay taking on Gutierrez. Next game is at 6:35 between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Colorado Rockies. Keller versus Gray. You get your locals in action tonight. Both of these teams either on the road or away. At 7:10, it's at home for the Mets as they keep their first place hot in the NL East. Tajon Walker making his return from the IL as he'll face off against Ian Anderson and the Atlanta Braves, who are 1 game below 500. At 7:10, you also get the New York Yankees at Detroit tonight. Garrett Cole taking the mound. At 7:10, you get the Boston Red Sox, who are a game ahead of New York. They got Perez taking on Poteet and the Miami Marlins at Fenway. 8:10, it's Valdez and the Houston Astros hosting the San Diego Padres, one of the hottest teams in Major League right now. You get Oakland and LA, the Angels and the Athletics. Ohtani once again making their start. We'll head back to Joe Nathan Field.
We venture for the bottom half of the 4th inning at Joe Nathan Field. Still no score between these SUNY rivals, UAlbany and Stony Brook. The loser goes home. He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Game 2 slated for just a few hours from now. The winners of yesterday's game, NJIT and Maine. The winner will already go into the final, and in a double elimination tournament will need to be defeated twice in order to be ousted. First pitch from the lefty Schurer is delivered right down the pipe to Evan Giordano. The count 0-1.
Well, I know we were expecting an offensive battle today, but yesterday was supposed to be the pitcher versus pitcher duel, not today.
Second offer to Giordano, tap foul into the Great Danes dugout. So there it is, you'd noted that earlier. These guys are on their toes. 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, the Stony Brook had Nick DeGennaro against the America East Pitcher of the Year, Sinicola. And for NJIT, Tyler Stafflinger and Ray Weber had a nice battle between each other. But this game had the number 2 guys for both teams, for both UAlbany and Stony Brook, as that one's upstairs. And this one has seemed to be more of a pitcher's duel than we saw yesterday.
Scherer has faced just one over the minimum so far through 3 frames. Gave up a double to Stanton Luthner and a single to Cole Durkin. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball. Looped just outside. Had that 12-6 bite. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Giordano, hitting second again today for Stony Brook. Meat of the lineup due up. Looking to get on the board. Runs came at a premium yesterday for Stony Brook. Failed to score until the 7th inning on a solo home run by Cole Durkin. Scherer's 2-2. Hit on the ground left side to the third baseman O'Castle. He's got it on a friendly hop and all the way across the diamond, 1 down. Third baseman grounds out to his fellow counterpart, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Chris Hamilton.
If Stony Brook's gonna want to get things going against Scherer, it's gonna have to come with these 3 guys, Giordano, Hamilton, Ticillo. Not doing much yesterday. Gonna have to get the bats going today early, and Giordano already with 2 down.
First offer to Hamilton, fastball taken low, the count 1-0. Hamilton knocked his 16th double of the season yesterday in Stony Brook's 4-2 loss against Maine. Second most 2-baggers in the America East. Lefty-lefty, 1-0. Fastball at the belt, but outside. And Scherer looks frustrated with the lack of strike call. He falls behind 2-0. Scherer, a New York native, from all the way up in beautiful Skaneateles. Making his 12th start of the season, the 2-0 pitch. Hamilton hits one hard up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Marty. Spins and throws, not nearly in time. Hamilton booking it out of the box. In fact, running so hard his helmet popped off. It'll go down as a single for Hamilton. 3rd hit of the day for Stony Brook. And a man aboard for John Ticillo.
I don't think anybody in the world would have made that play, but a nice attempt there from Marty over at second. So Seawolves again get another base runner. Second straight inning, they got a 1-out base runner. This time it's Hamilton on first. John Ticillo will look to get things going here in this winner-go-home game.
Ticillo flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. 1 for 4 in the loss yesterday against Maine. And he starts ahead of the count 1-0 with a breaking ball outside. Ticillo back in the cleanup spot for Matt Sank's group. Matt Sank in his 31st season with Stony Brook. John Mueller not too far behind in his 22nd season at the helm for the Great Danes. Scherer operating out of the stretch. 1-0, another breaking ball. This one is in there for a strike. Rather unfamiliar territory today for Scherer. Working out of the stretch position. But he is a lefty, as is Milch, so when someone's on first base, they've got a good look over at the runner there. 1-1, popped up. This one is in the infield, kicking back towards behind home plate. There's a play to be made, and it's caught. Will File calls off the catcher, Josh Gernak. Ticillo, an unproductive second out here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up the shortstop, Stanton Luthner.
Shortstop, number 13, Stanton Luthner.
No score, bottom 4. Pair of lefties on the bump today. Milch for Stony Brook, Scherer for UAlbany. And yet another SUNY showdown. They met 4 times in the regular season, and Stony Brook swept the series. First pitch breaking ball again from Scherer. This one's in there for a called strike. And a lot like Sinicola, James, feels like Scherer's relying a lot on more of the junk and the off-speed stuff today.
Yeah, he's gotten a couple of pop-ups as well, but he's gotten those low pitches in with the off-speed stuff to get the ground outs that he needs. He'll look to get another out here against Luthner.
Pitch is popped up. Shallow center field. Shortstop Maul makes the call. Now drifting into the second base bag, and he makes the catch. So another hit for Stony Brook, but another runner left stranded. And we played 4. Still no score. We head for the 5th inning after the break on WUSB 90.1 FM Stony Brook. But first, we check in with Zach Wilson.
And back in the studios of WUSB. Let's get you more scores and updates to follow through in the pros. On the NBA, talked about this a little while ago, but in case you missed it, 3 games happened last night. The Milwaukee Bucks, led by Drew Holiday in his 19-point double-double and with 12 assists, puts Miami on the verge of elimination. Bucks now on a 3-0 series lead against the Heat with a 113-84 victory last night. Game 4, Saturday at 1:30. You got the LA Lakers, back-to-back wins now. Anthony Davis getting a double-double with 34 points and 11 rebounds as the Lakers achieve a 109-95 win against the Phoenix Suns. Their Game 4, it will be on Sunday at 3:30 at Staples Center once more. And also, you got the Denver Nuggets last night, led by Nikola Jokic with 36 points and 11 rebounds. They take down the Portland Trail Blazers 120-115. Denver has a 2-1 series lead now, as their Game 4 will be on Saturday at 4 p.m. on TNT, same venue, the Moda Center. Portland looking to try and even the series as the Nuggets look to put Portland on the verge of elimination. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field for Johnny and James.
Still no score here on day 2 of the 2021 America East Baseball Tournament at Joe Nathan Field. So glad you could join us. He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. We've entered for the top of the 5th inning. And the first pitch from Jared Milch. Low it in to the right-handed swinging Mark Wangenstein. And the count's 1-0. Milch with 4 strikeouts. And has given up just 2 hits through the first 4 frames. But this one's driven deep out to center field. LaRocca feeling for the wall and makes the catch on the warning track. Wangenstein gave it a ride, playing at his 200th career UAlbany game. And now he starts 0 for 2. That brings in the number 7 hitter, Will File.
Well, that was the first fly out, first non-ground out or strikeout out Jared Milch has given up, and Wangenstein gave it a ride, probably the hardest hit ball we've seen today by either team. Gave it a ride to no avail, dead center.
First pitch to the left-handed swinging File. Fastball low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. File, a Long Islander from East Williston. Attended Wheatley High School. 1-0 pitch on the ground towards the middle. Second baseman backhanded Paulson. Throw behind the bag. He got him.
Oh my.
Brett Paulson from behind the second base bag, fading toward left field. Throws out Will File for the second out.
Well, I'm sure everyone on UAlbany bench and the crowd here thought that was a sure infield hit for Will File. Brett Paulson, what a play there on his backhand, able to recover, throw it on his offside, and an accurate throw over to Chris Hamilton at first to get the second out.
First pitch to John Daly, the left fielder. Outside ball 1. Daly occupying the 8th spot in John Mueller's Great Danes lineup. Another opportunity for a 1-2-3 frame for Milch. His 1-0 nips the inside corner, 1-1. He's now retired 9 in a row since the Will File single in the second. Milch is 1-1. Lifted, left field, Fox coming on, and he'll make the play. It's another 1-2-3 frame for Jared Milch. He's now retired 10 in a row. And we've played 4.5 at Joe Nathan Field. Still no score between Stony Brook and UAlbany here on WUSB 90.1 FM.
The quickness of the game. There's nothing bigger than that. So, back once again in the studios of WUSB. Talked before about recapping the NBA games last night. We'll talk about games that are happening tonight. The locals in action on the road. Knicks at the Hawks. Series tied up at 1. Game at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Nets at the Celtics. Nets up 2-0 right now in the series against Boston. Game at 8:30 on ABC at TD Garden. At 9:30, the Dallas Mavericks up 2-0 against the Clippers. They'll look to try and use their homestand to try and sweep the Clippers after they lost to them in the playoff series last year. Mavericks playing at 9:30 at the American Airlines Center. More games tomorrow as well in basketball. In the NBA, games that didn't happen today or yesterday. The Wizards will be hosting the Sixers this time, trailing 2-0 to Philadelphia. Games at 7 p.m. tomorrow at the Capital One Arena. And at 9:30, the Memphis Grizzlies, who are tied with the Utah Jazz in the first round, they will be hosting Donovan Mitchell and the whole squad of Rudy Gobert as well at the FedEx Forum at 9:30 p.m. tomorrow night. We got some NHL games, just one tonight. Game 7 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. The winner moves on to round 2. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
7, Brad Hipsley.
Well, who will be first on the scoreboard? We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brad Hipsley steps in, lefty. First pitch fisted to short. On one hop, Brad Mulms got it, and his throw to first in time to get the hustling Hipsley by a step. One pitch, one out for Craig Scherer and company. With no score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Glad you're with us.
7, Evan Fox.
He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Evan Fox digs in. Runs coming at a premium today in a win or go home scenario, double elimination tournament. And both of these SUNY rivals lost yesterday in their first game of this 2021 tournament. Lefty to the righty, Fox. First pitch registers at the knees for a called strike 1.
Well, you talk about being, you said first pitch, one out. Scherer has only thrown 39 pitches in just 4+ innings so far.
I think maybe that it's a Seawolves team eager to take on a starting pitcher not named Nick Sinicola after the way yesterday went. And Stony Brook was able to tag the bullpen a little bit, and Matt Pushard just again did not bring home the runs. 1-1 pitch to Fox. Spikes in the dirt. The count, 2 balls and a strike on the left fielder. Fox had 1 hit and 3 at-bats yesterday. We noted, despite facing the America East pitcher of the year, Stony Brook had a base runner on in each of the 9 innings. 2-1. Fastball nips the inside corner. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Evan Fox. Garnered his 3rd America East Rookie of the Week award to end the regular season. One of the better freshman campaigns in the conference this year. The redshirt freshman Scherer has the sign. Here's his 2-2. Breaking ball never broke. And the count fills on Evan Fox, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good idea there going to the breaking ball, but like you said, it didn't break as much as he wanted it to and just nicked outside of the zone.
3-2. Fastball high. Stony Brook has had a base runner in each and every inning except the first inning in this game. They'll try and take advantage this time around with Cole Durkin, one of their hottest hitters so far in this 2021 tournament. Durkin did a solo shot yesterday to get Stony Brook on the board. First pitch to the lefty nearly clipped him. A curveball. Durkin wasn't budging out of the way. Count 1-0.
Always hold your ground there. If you get hit by a curveball, it's definitely better than getting hit by an 80+ fastball.
I believe the old saying is, we've got ice. Not sure it'd be necessary for a curveball plunk. Catcher Kernack sets up outside, and the 1-0 is a sneaky good pickoff move to first. Fox back in with a head-first dive. He has 21 stolen bases this year on just 24 tries. That includes one yesterday in the 4-2 loss against the Maine Black Bears.
We saw Stony Brook get picked off yesterday against Nicholas Sinicola. You definitely want to avoid that and avoid falling asleep. Ooh.
1-0 pitch nearly plunked him, and the snap throw down to first, again, nearly had Fox. Catcher is Josh Kernack. And that throw was on the money. I think the first baseman, Will File, might not have been expecting it.
Even worse, Cole Durkin, 2 pitches and 2 balls almost hitting him. That one even closer to the head area.
Portsider comes set. Long look toward first. Now the 2-0. Popped up foul and out of play down the left field line. Count 2 balls and a strike on Durkin.
As we see behind us, the Maine Black Bears have arrived early to watch this game. They will face the NJIT Highlanders following this game at 1:30 for a spot in the America East Championship.
Go figure, it's the 2 first-place teams playing the morning game in the losers bracket. Scherer sets another long pause and a more deliberate pickoff move to first. Fox, no need to slide in this time. Still 2 balls and 1 strike on Durkin. No score, bottom 5. Loser of this game, the season is over. And I don't think either of them had that in the works for a Friday morning. Figured that these 2 teams were going to meet, just not in the losers bracket. 2-1 pitch in the dirt. Smothered nicely by Kernack. That'll keep Fox at first base. But a hitter's count on the left-handed swinging Durkin, now 3 balls and 1 strike.
Fox's secondary lead is almost a third of a way to second base, so that's why the catcher Gernek is keeping an eye on him after these pitches.
Sure ready. 3-1. Not there. Durkin paused, but the silence speaks volumes. It means ball 4. It was a fastball low and away. Didn't miss by much.
The second baseman number 14. 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 The second baseman.
The first time today, Stony Brook has 2 base runners aboard at the same time. Back-to-back walks issued by Schurer.
Draws a mound visit.
I was going to say, and that's John Mueller, the manager, joined by the rest of the Great Danes infielders. We should note 6 times this season, Schurer has walked at least 4 batters in an outing. Now, he had not walked any batters until Evan Fox and now Cole Durkin. And those is only 2 so far, but now 2 aboard in a dangerous situation for Brett Paulson, the second baseman.
Well, I'm sure this is just John Mueller going out, taking his temperature, making sure everything's all right.
That might have a different connotation these days.
That's true. 2 walks is never a good sign after recording the first out. But we saw it yesterday with Nicholas Sinicola throwing 8 straight balls to the Seawolves. So if the America East Pitcher of the Year can do it and recover and get the rest of the outs, anyone can do it.
Now in this situation, 2 aboard for Stony Brook with 1 out. There is no score in the game, bottom 5. The number 9 hitter is up in Brett Paulson, and one of the best in the conference when it comes to sacrifice bunting.
Well, on the 9 hole, you might be expecting that. Infield still on the outside, not creeping in yet.
Schurer's first pitch.
Oh.
Runners were going, and it comes back to the pitcher, Schurer, and his only play is at first base. So the hit and run was on for Stony Brook. And because it was, they avoid the double play. So Fox advances to third, Durkin to second, and Schurer made the right play. He fielded, looked to second, was not going to get the trail runner, and decided, all right, let's at least get 1 out. Now there's 2 set down for the top of the lineup in John LaRocca, and now 2 ducks on the pond.
Lucky for Schurer. Nice job by his awareness there to not throw that ball immediately to second.
Lefty, LaRocca grounds the first pitch to first base. File leaves the bag, fields and covers. That'll do it. Stony Brook threatens, but they do not score. No runs, no hits, and they lead 2.
And the 5.
We played 5 at Joe Nathan Field. Still no score between SUNY rivals UAlbany and Stony Brook. We head back into the WUSB studios with Zach Wilson.
Thanks, Johnny. So back in the studios of WUSB, we get more scores updates to work through. At noon today, the first of 2 Final 4 in the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament. Top seed North Carolina will be taking on the 4 seed Boston College Golden Eagles, a big one to watch out for. Jamie Ortega and Katie Hodge facing off against Charlotte North. Winner goes to the national championship. North Carolina trying to get back there for the first time since 2017, if memory serves correctly. For Boston College, they're trying to get back. They're trying to make it 3 straight NCAA national championship appearances. And then at 2:30, you get the Syracuse Orange taking on the Northwestern Wildcats. Both teams in great seasons, with Northwestern undefeated and Syracuse battling through tough injuries, making Gary Gayton most likely candidate for the National Coach of the Year in women's lacrosse. In college baseball, besides the game you're listening to, there will be one later after this. Is Maine versus NGIT in the winners bracket, as Johnny and James have been mentioning. The loser of that game will be taking on the winner of this game you're listening to right now. 2 AAC tournament games going on, one at 1 p.m. between Memphis and East Carolina. At 5 p.m., you get Wichita State and Tulane. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Thank you, Zach. We venture for the top half of the 6th inning. And the first pitch from the left-hander, Milch, is swung through by Loeffler. The count 0-1. He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Glad you could join us. Win or go home scenario for these 2 SUNY rivals, the Great Danes and the Seawolves. 0-1 pitch runs low to Loeffler. The count 1-1. Still no score. through 5 frames, and we've got ourselves a pitcher's duel between Craig Schurer and Jared Milch. The 1-1. Fastball right outside, 2 balls and a strike. Loeffler occupying the number 9 spot in this game for John Mueller's group. The designated hitter who provided a pinch hit home run in the 8th inning yesterday. 2-1. Taken low and in, now 3 balls and a strike. It proved to be the Great Danes' 4th run of the game, but they'd still prove to be 1 run short, leaving the tying run on second base in the 9th inning. 3-1 to the righty. He's hit on the ground toward the middle, past the outstretched dive of Stanton Luthner, and it's a leadoff base knock. It's the first time in this game that the leadoff man is aboard, and we'll flip the lineup card for Dolan O'Castle.
Nice piece of hitting there from the 9-hitter Josh Loeffler. 3-1 pitch. Hitters count as Milch tried to get back into the count. Loeffler hit the high fastball just to the right side of the shortstop Stan Luthner.
So relatively unfamiliar territory today for Milch. He operates out of the stretch. First pitch bunt was shown by O'Castle. He's able to pull it back just in the nick of time, and it's ball 1.
Interesting, Stony Brook not looking for a check there to see if he did go around. He pulled it back rather late. So it'll remain a ball and no strikes.
1-0 pitch to O'Castle. On the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Pair of groundouts for O'Castle so far today. And that had been the story of the game through the first 5+ innings for Milch. If it wasn't a strikeout, it was a groundout. Loeffler leads off at first. Milch's pitch bunted right back to the pitcher. Milch will go for the lead runner at second, and it trickles into center. Backed up quickly by John LaRocca. Milch had a play at second base, had to be perfect. The throw was slightly low. So Loeffler advances to second. O'Castle right behind him at first. And now there's 2 on and nobody gone for Jason Batari.
That'll likely go down as an error on the pitcher Jared Milch, as that'll draw a mound visit, as he had an easy out at first, tried to get the lead runner in Josh Loeffler to no avail. Seemed to have hit Loeffler as he was on his way to second. The shortstop Stan Luthner covering was not able to get there in time. Luckily that ball hit off of someone or something, maybe a glove, and trickled into center field. Did not allow Loeffler to advance on over to third, so damage was limited, but still damage is in danger here with 2 on and nobody out in the top of the 6th in a scoreless game.
Well, in the last half inning, Stony Brook had 2 base runners on for the first time today. Now the same holds true for the Great Danes here in the top half of the 6th inning with Loeffler on second and O'Castle on first. By the way, still no error shown up on the scoreboard there. Center fielder Batari steps in. Lefty on the bump, deals to the righty at the dish. It's another bunt. Back to Milch. This time he learns his lesson and turns to first. And again, maybe a play at third. Again, would have had to be perfect to get the lead runner. But credit the Great Danes for playing small ball. Loeffler on third. O'Castle on second. And that brings in the shortstop, Brad Mull.
Well, I don't know, if you're Jared Milch, you're thinking, I don't want to do this again. If you got the first out there at second the first time, that bunt probably would not have been on. But now the Great Danes in serious business with 2 on in scoring position with just 1 out.
Infield plays in. First pitch off speed, just a little bit high to the right-handed swinging Malm. The count 1-0. Malm hit .339 in the regular season. 4 long balls, 37 ribbies. As 1 base knock today came in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Malm ropes one left side and through. The Great Danes are on the board, and it'll be 2. It's a 2-run single for Brad Malm, and UAlbany draws first blood in the top of the 6th inning. Small ball, big results.
Second baseman number 12, Johnny Marty.
And in a game where runs are coming at a premium, who knows, 2 might be enough.
Well, small ball like you said, but a fielding error, technically not an error I guess, but a mistake from Jared Milch trying to go on to second, comes back to bite him.
First offer to Marty has popped up. Left center field. Fox moving to his left underneath to make the catch. Out number 2 in the top half of the 6th inning. That'll bring in the catcher, Josh Gernak.
24, Josh Gernak.
In yesterday's contest, the Black Bears led wire to wire. Scored in the top of the first, a lead they never relinquished. First pitch to the catcher, runs outside, 1-0. But in this contest, the first runs don't cross until here in the top of the 6th inning. And what has been just a tightly contested tournament in all 3 games so far. 1-0 pitch, rope foul down the third base line. Count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Well, Stony Brook knows it's going to get down to business coming into this bottom of the 6th. Through 14 innings so far, Stony Brook has only scored 2 runs against Maine, the full 9 yesterday, and through 5 so far against Albany. So this bottom of the 6th, I would expect the Seawolves to come out swinging. They have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up to bat.
Milch out of the stretch. 1-1 fastball up in the zone, a check swing, and he did go around after the appeal to first. Much to the chagrin of many of the Great Danes fans in attendance. Milch now works ahead 1-2. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Great Danes. They had 7 hits yesterday. 4 of them were doubles. Runner goes from first, pitches outside, throw down a second, a good one. The tag not in time. Brad Malm thieves second. And another base runner in scoring position. Now with a 2-2 count on Gernak. With 2 down and a 2-0 game, top of the 6th inning. Infield can take a few steps back. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Milch blew the fastball by him, but not before the damage is done.
For the Danes in the 6th, 2 runs on 2 hits.
The Great Danes pick up 2 runs
base.
on 2 hits, and they leave 1 stranded. We played 5.5 at Joe Nathan Field. UAlbany 2, Stony Brook 0. We head back to the WUSB studios with Zach Wilson.
Thanks, Johnny. So back in the studios of WUSB, let's find some more college baseball scores to get down with. We got a few going on right now, believe it or not. One of them is 15th ranked TCU and 5th ranked Texas Tech after their game last night was postponed due to inclement weather. And now that they're playing now, at the top of the 4th, the Horned Frogs are up over the Red Raiders 4-0 in Game 8 of the Big 12 tournament. A couple of games scheduled to happen in just a mere matter of moments. Game 13 of the SEC tournament between 4th-ranked Tennessee and Alabama, and Game 10 of the ACC tournament between 7th-ranked Notre Dame and Virginia. At 1 p.m., a non-conference tournament game in the Big Ten, from the looks of it. 20th-ranked Nebraska taking on Michigan. More games happening later today. At 6 p.m., 17th-ranked UC Irvine taking on Cal State Fullerton. Then at 6:30, you also get 25th-ranked Maryland hosting Indiana. At 3 p.m. in Game 11 of the ACC tournament after Virginia Notre Dame, 23rd-ranked Florida State taking on Miami. After that, Game 12 at 7 p.m. tonight, North Carolina, 16th-ranked NC State. Then at 8:30 tonight, 2nd-ranked Texas taking on the loser of the Texas Tech TCU game. 7:30 Game 10 the Conference USA tournament, 18th-ranked Louisiana Tech taking on Western Kentucky. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Well, for the second straight day, Stony Brook finds themselves caught in a game of come from behind. We venture for the bottom of the 6th inning at Joe Nathan Field. Win or go home scenario for these 2 SUNY squads, UAlbany and Stony Brook. It is a 2-0 Great Danes lead. They played it both in the top half of the 6th. He's James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Evan Giordano settles in, and the first pitch from the lefty, Schurer, is a breaking ball for strike 1. I think quietly a story in this game has to be the performance from Schurer, who was a late addition to the lineup as the number 2 starter in this tournament and has given up just 3 hits through 5 innings. The Portsiders 0-1. Is another breaking ball, this one a little bit elevated, and the count runs to 1-1.
Well, he did have an extended rest there in that top half of the 6th. Not too long, but the Great Danes able to tack on 2 runs. Sure was able to watch from the side, so we'll see how he comes out here in this bottom half of the 6th.
1-1 to Giordano, big wave and a miss. The count 0-2 on the Seawolves third baseman, who for most of the season, probably their best hitter. He's 0 for 6 though in this 2021 America East tournament.
3 straight breaking balls there also from Scher so far.
This time a fastball, and Giordano can't catch up. Just the second strikeout today for Scher, the first one of the swinging variety. And that'll bring in Chris Hamilton.
Giordano 0 for 7 so far in this America East tournament. Not what you want from your number 2 hitter, and probably your best hitter all season.
Lefty to the lefty. It's another first pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1.
Scher really has that breaking ball going for him right now. Not even lifting it into the zone as a meatball. He's getting it down in the zone, just catching the edge of the corners.
0-1 is another breaking ball. 58-footer, the count 1-1. Scher pitched last weekend against Maine. Allowed 1 run over 3 innings with 4 strikeouts. That very same Black Bears crew has a good look at Scher at the moment. 1-1, another low breaking ball, 2-1. As you noted in the last half inning change, the Black Bears are now in attendance at Joe Nathan Field. They'll be game 2 today, slated for a 1:30 start against NJIT. 2-1 pitch. Fastball high and tight. And now a hitter's count on the left-handed swinging Hamilton, who finished up the regular season hitting .322, one of 4 Seawolves above the 300 mark. Scher out of the windup. High purple socks, 3-1. Is a good hard fastball at the knees, 3-2. Looking at the top 4 hitters in the Stony Brook lineup today, Hamilton is the only one with a hit. Here's the payoff. Chopped right back to the pitcher, Scher. He's got it. Quick run over to first, and the underhanded flip for out number 2.
Yeah, it looked like an easy play, but Hamilton...
Yeah, a little more dramatic than you'd think.
Yeah, it just barely got Hamilton by a stride. It was, if he took any longer, if he took any longer right there, Hamilton probably would have had himself an infield hit.
Well, it's all for none. 5 in a row set down by Scher. And here comes the catcher, John Ticillo. You figure Stony Brook offense may struggle against Sinicola for Maine. First pitch, roped right back up the middle, base hit for Ticillo.
That's how you do it right there.
Right in the middle of my note. Was going to say you'd figure maybe they'd have their struggles against Sinicola, which they did, but again, they put base runners on in each and every inning. You wouldn't necessarily expect this from a Stony Brook lineup that finished tops in batting average in the America East this season against the pitcher in Scher, who makes his 11th start of the season today. And you look at some of the numbers, a lot of walks, and it's a Stony Brook team that might be able to generate something, and so far, they haven't. And you tip your cap to Scher. First pitch to the shortstop, Luthner, is in the dirt, ball 1.
I mean, yeah, you talk about not really getting the bats going, but they did. They had 10 hits yesterday. Not able to score with runners in scoring position, runners on, 2-out rallies, nothing really getting going for the Seawolves as Sinicola was able to settle down.
Scherer's 1-0 offer in there for a called strike. Now operating out of the stretch with a man on first and John Ticillo. Long look into the dugout for Scher. He's also got a wristband on the right wrist he's been taking a peek at.
I see a lot of those in softball. I don't usually see a lot of those armbands with the pitches on during baseball.
His 1-1 is chopped on the ground left side. It stays fair for the third baseman who goes across the way, and O'Castle completes the play. So yet again, Stony Brook puts one on, and they leave one stranded. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We played 6 at Joe Nathan Field. 2-0 UAlbany over Stony Brook on WUSB 90.1 FM Stony Brook.
Back in the studios of WUSB, let's find some more scores and updates to follow through. We got Major League Baseball today. You got your locals in action. The New York Mets taking on the Atlanta Braves at 7:10. Tayshaun Walker, one of the few who will be coming back from the IL, as the Detroit Tigers will be hosting the New York Yankees at 7:10. Garrett Cole against Mize. So, let's see what other MLB games we have going on later today. At 8:10 tonight, you got the Minnesota Twins hosting the Kansas City Royals. White Sox hosting the Orioles at the same time. Orioles, Royals, almost sounds like a rhyme. The Angels and the Athletics shows that Shohei Ohtani will be at the mound once more for LA. One of the biggest wizards to watch, so he can do a dual threat. he can be a dual threat. St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Madison Bumgarner taking the mound for the D's. At 10:10 tonight, you got a couple of games. The LA Dodgers taking on the San Francisco Giants. A big-time battle to watch in the NL West. Dodgers, they're one game ahead of San Francisco. Giants having a good start to the season so far throughout their first 50 games. You also got the Seattle Mariners and Texas Rangers in Game 2 of their series. Sheffield for Seattle, Lyles for Texas. Let's head back to JNF.
Leading off the right fielder, number 7, Mark Wangenstein.
UAlbany 2, Stony Brook nothing. We head for the top of the 7th inning at Joe Nathan Field. Stony Brook hosting the 2021 America East Tournament, first time since 2012, and they are in danger of being the first ones ousted. First pitch, lefty to righty, Milch to Wangenstein, is a breaking ball low and in for ball 1. Joined alongside James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott, glad you're with us again for the second game in as many days. Second offer is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. Milch to Wangenstein, count 1-1.
Well, we know that Stony Brook has 9 more outs to go, but they still have to get through this UAlbany lineup.
0-2, lifted deep down the left field line. Fox at the track, drifting to the wall, reaches out, and he makes the catch.
Wow.
Evan Fox into the deepest corner at Joe Nathan Field, emerges with a baseball, and it is a large out number 1 for SBU.
Well, you got to feel for Mark Wangenstein in the 5th inning, gives a ride to dead center field on the warning track. John LaRocca makes the catch, and right there, Evan Fox, nice job covering some ground out there in left field, able to get over to make the catch. So 2 hard-hit balls by Wangenstein, but 2 outs.
First pitch to the left-handed swinging File, catches the corner, a fastball, 0-1. Wangenstein, a seasoned veteran, team captain, has played countless games against Stony Brook. 0-1 to File. Another fastball right down the pipe, 0-2. Great Danes plated both of their runs in the top half of the 6th inning. Runs have come at a premium for Stony Brook here in this tournament. 0-2, climbed the ladder. File did not. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was a 4-2 win for Maine over Stony Brook yesterday morning. Then a 5-4 win NJIT over UAlbany yesterday afternoon. Foul ball into the UAlbany dugout, and that had been a worry we had been speaking about. And let's see.
Hit number 3. Looked like the guy in the hole. No?
That would be Josh Loeffler.
No, it was, yeah. Josh Loeffler getting ready to bat in this inning. Takes one off the leg. He's walking it off. He seems to be all right. These guys are tough out there.
I mean, that was a screaming line drive, and it got nothing else. White into the dugout. Here's the 1-2. Missed, tying away. Not a bad spot to be if you're the pitcher, Milch. 2 balls and 2 strikes on File. In a 2-0 game, UAlbany over Stony Brook, top 7. Infield plays back. Here's another 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He missed low and away.
These are great at bat by File. These are not pitches that are easy to lay off. The breaking balls, the fastballs just outside the zone.
Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. Milch able to induce the strikeout. It's his 6th of the contest. And that brings up John Daly with 2 gone and nobody on.
Jared Milch doing his job. I mean, he had a couple of hiccups in the top half of the 6th with the bunt, but he's keeping his Seawolves in it right now.
First pitch, line drive to third. It's off of Evan Giordano's body. Keeps it in front of him, and the throw in time. He didn't field it cleanly, but he did enough to make the play. And it's another 1-2-3 frame for Jared Milch. No runs, no hits, had nobody left. Time to get up and stretch here at Joe Nathan Field. UAlbany leads Stony Brook 2-0 on WUSB 90.1 FM Stony Brook.
And back in the studios of WUSB, let's get you some more scores and updates to follow through on. More college baseball to look out for. Tennessee, Alabama, and Virginia Notre Dame are officially underway. Scoreless in the top of the first. They both enter the bottom of the first. Meanwhile, between Texas Tech and TCU, it's the bottom of the 4th. It's still 4-0 TCU. More games to talk about today. In the Atlantic 10, Game 4 between Rhode Island and VCU. Scoreless in the bottom of the 1st. At 2:30, you get Dayton taking on the loser of the VCU-Rhode Island game. In the ACC, more games besides Notre Dame, Virginia, and Florida State, Miami, and North Carolina, NC State. In the Atlantic Sun, in the top of the second right now, Liberty is leading Kennesaw State 1-0. At 3 p.m., Jacksonville taking on North Florida. And then at 7 p.m., the winner of the Kennesaw-Liberty game takes on the loser of the Jacksonville-North Florida game. In the Big 12, besides the Texas Tech TCU game, Kansas State at 1:30 will be taking on the loser of that game. 5 p.m., West Virginia, they'll be taking on Oklahoma State, and then at 8:30, it's second-ranked Texas taking on the loser of that previous game. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Hope you enjoyed your stretch. We go to the bottom of the 7th here at Joe Nathan Field. UAlbany 2, Stony Brook nothing. Win or go home. First pitch, lefty to lefty. Schurer to Hipsley is a breaking ball low. The count 1-0. Joined alongside James D'Elia. I'm Jonny Wincott. Glad you could join us. Stony Brook and UAlbany, the top 2 teams in the regular season of the America East, and one of them will not make it to the next round. Second pitch, lifted deep but foul down the left field line by Hipsley. And the count runs to 1-1 strike.
Well, you guys can't see it as the viewers, but the clouds have started to drive away here at Joe Nathan Field. The sun's starting to peek out a little bit as the blue sky and the clouds take up half of the field here.
1-1 missed outside. Another breaking ball from Schurer. 2 balls and a strike on the DH Hipsley, who appears in his 17th game of the season today. It's his 11th start. He also started yesterday against Maine. 2-1 pitch. Pop foul again, now 2-2. His 11th start of the season. He's 1 for 6 in this 2021 tournament with his single that came yesterday. Schurer out of the windup. High purple sock, steals a 2-2. A breaking ball, a check swing. They appeal to third. He did not go. And the count fills on the leadoff man here in the 7th, Brad Hipsley. Stony Brook, similar to yesterday, they've had base runners, have not been able to do much with them. The payoff, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Schurer, and none bigger than that one. One down to the 7th, here's Evan Fox.
Schurer's pitch count, only 72 pitches so far through 6 1/3 against the Seawolves lineup. They've been attacking early, haven't really gotten into any batting battles against Schurer.
Yeah, call me crazy, that might have actually been where it could have hurt Sinicola yesterday. The first pitch is lifted foul down the left field line. He strikes out so many batters, it takes at least 3 pitches to strike out a batter.
Right.
Schurer only has the 3 strikeouts today. Credit Stony Brook, they see a good pitch, they've been swinging.
A lot of first pitch hitting.
Evan Fox grounded out to short in the 3rd inning. Walked in the 5th, made it to second base and no further. The 0-1. A breaking ball, barely missed off the outer half. The count 1-1. In fact, the 5th inning is the only inning so far for Stony Brook that they've had more than 1 base runner. Nobody has touched third base. Schurer deals a 1-1. And it's clipped foul into the netting behind home. And now Fox falls into a hole, 1-2. The Great Danes were the top team in Division A. Stony Brook, the top team in Division B. For the Great Danes, their 5th consecutive America East tournament, and their 10th since 2009. But their only America East title, and thus their only NCAA tournament appearance, got to go all the way back to 2007. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fox chops one right back to Schurer. He takes a step and throws to first. And Schurer seemingly has settled in. 2 down in the 7th, nobody on. And Cole Durkin tries to keep this thing alive.
Yeah, after that 5th inning struggle where he put 2 runners on with 2 walks, has only given up 1 base runner after that. Seawolves in trouble here. They need to get something going if they want to keep their season alive here at Joe Nathan Field.
Well, Durkin, for all intents and purposes, has been their best hitter so far in this tournament. He looks at an off-speed pitch outside for ball 1. Was 2 for 4 yesterday, provided Stony Brook with their first run on a solo shot in the 7th. Today he singled in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. Looks at another breaking ball. This one catches the inside corner. Now 1-1 on the right fielder. If he can keep this bottom of the 7th inning alive, it's the number 9 hit Paulson who waits on deck. Schur's 1-1 is another wave and a miss.
Great breaking ball there from Schur. Had Durkin absolutely fooled expecting the fastball.
Schur, the 6-foot redshirt freshman from Skaneateles, New York, is one pitch away from strikeout number 4 and 7 shutout innings. The pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. He's got it. Craig Schur, 7 scoreless innings. UAlbany 2, Stony Brook nothing. We venture for the 8th after the break right here at Joe Nathan Field on WUSB.
More to talk about here on the break. You're listening to the longtime home for Stony Brook Athletics on 9.1 FM WSB Stony Brook. Let's get you some more scores and updates. You're listening to Zach Wilson here back in the studios. In the NHL, you had 2 games last night. Both of them went to overtime, and both of them won 4-3. The first one won by the Montreal Canadiens. After they were up 3-0 in the second period, gave up the last 3 goals to the Maple Leafs. But when overtime came, it was all about being able to secure the win and stay alive in round 1. There will be a Game 6 on Saturday. But the Nashville Predators season is finally over after the Predators, they were up by a good margin. They were up by 2, but last 2 goals in regulation by the Hurricanes, including the game-winning goal to send Carolina to round 2 to face off against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You got 1 game today in Game 7 in Vegas. The Vegas Golden Knights hosting the Minnesota Wild. The winner will move on to round 2 to take on the Colorado Avalanche. And then on Saturday, you get 2 games, including your local New York Islanders at the Boston Bruins for Game 1 of round 2. Toronto Maple Leafs and Canadiens, that's their Game 6. Back to Joe Nathan Field.
Leading off the DH
Thank you, Zach. 8th inning we go here at Joe Nathan Field. Jared Milch still on the bump for his 8th inning of work. He will face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Josh Loeffler leads off in a 2-0 game here. UAlbany leads. As that pitch is grounded onto the right side, easy play for Chris Hamilton to pick up, walk on over to first to get the first out. UAlbany leads 2-0 here at Joe Nathan Field over Stony Brook. Stony Brook has 6 more outs to get at least 2 runs to keep this thing going if they want to keep their season alive. James D'Elia alongside Jonny Wincott, 1 out here in the top half of the 8th inning. NJIT and Maine, the 2 winners from yesterday, will face off at 1:30 for a spot in the America East Championship as the first pitch to the leadoff batter, Dolan O'Castle, is in there for a strike. O'Castle, the 1-hitter, 0 for 3 on the day. Reached on a bunt fielder's choice that Milch fumbled. Takes a ball right there. He came around to score in the 6th inning. 1 of 2 runs scored by UAlbany. Here's the 1-1 upstairs for ball 2. Milch is over 100 pitches now here in this 8th inning. Only giving up 2 runs on 4 hits. Stony Brook 0 runs on 4 hits as well. Milch sets. Here comes the 2-1. That one low and inside. O'Castle had to get out of the way of that one as it was by his feet, and it's 3-1.
Per usual, we don't really have a good vantage point at either bullpen. I'm not sure anybody's up and throwing right now for Stony Brook.
Looks like they're all watching on as this 3-1 is lined into the right center field gap. That one is down, and taking the turn is O'Castle. He'll try and make it on to second, and he will get there standing with a 1-out double. Nice piece of hitting from O'Castle to get the Great Danes in business here in the 8th inning.
The center fielder, number 38, Jason Batari.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Jason Batari. He's 0 for 2 with a sac bunt back in the 6th inning. So 1 out, runner on second in O'Castle. UAlbany already up 2-0, looking to expand on their lead here in this winner-take-all game, as it'll draw a mound visit from the Stony Brook bench.
There was a little bit of a miscommunication there in right center field between John LaRocca and Colt Durkin. And no matter how you shake that one out, likely going to be a double for O'Castle, put that equidistant between the two. But both of them running to try and cut that ball off in the gap sort of bumped into each other. again, you're probably not getting him at second either way, but a little bit of a miscommunication there from your center and your right fielders. In fact, Durkin's glove ended up popping off his hand in the little bump there. So it's been a wacky 2 days for this Stony Brook Seawolves team, who for much of this America East season looked like they were the team to beat in the conference.
It seems right now they are being beat right now by UAlbany. Both these teams 1 seeds in their respective divisions. UAlbany in Division A, Stony Brook in Division B. Behind us sits the winners, who defeated these 2 teams, NJIT and Maine. Face off next here at Joe Nathan Field. Just the 5th hit given up by Jared Milch. That one the first extra base hit. The other 4 were just singles. So in steps Jason Batari as Milch asks for time. So O'Castle on second, 1 out, 2-0. Albany leads over Stony Brook. First pitch to Batari. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Batari, like I said, 0 for 2 with a sac bunt back in the 6th inning. His 2 groundouts were both to Jared Milch in the 1st and 3rd inning. O'Castle takes his lead off second, retreats back to the bag, now retreats back to his lead. Milch sets, checks the runner. Here's the 0-1, swung on and chopped to the left side. O'Castle will stay at second. Giordano picks it up and throws on to first to get Batari by a stride, and that's the 2nd out here in the top half of the 8th. Big out there for Jared Milch.
Yeah, and an experienced veteran third baseman in Giordano who makes the play. You give the brief look over to second just to make sure the runner's not moving. And again, with 2 outs and O'Castle's speed, a single is still probably getting him in from second, but when you're less than 90 feet away from home plate on third base, sometimes some wacky things can happen.
And an intentional walk was just called for Brad Malm. It seems like Stony Brook would rather face Johnny Marty than the shortstop Brad Malm. Brad Malm being first team all-conference of the America East. So an interesting tactic. 2 runners on now after the intentional walk to Brad Malm. Don't have to throw a pitch now, remember. So the first pitch to Johnny Marty in their first strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, I'll say this. Obviously, it does put the force on every base, but I don't know how many times this season that a team has walked Malm to get to Marty, who's hitting .358.
Definitely an interesting tactic. We'll see how it pays out for either team. Here comes the 0-1. That one in the dirt. Nice stop by John Ticillo as it hit home plate. Might have been before home plate even. And it's 1-1.
Right, you can't really concoct enough scenarios to say, okay, we're going to walk someone because we want to see Johnny Marty. That just doesn't happen.
Runners on first and second. Here comes the 1-1. That one chopped back to Milch. Tough play, but he makes the catch, tosses it on over to first, and that retires the side. So it worked out after the intentional walk, and the Great Danes leave 2 runners stranded here in the top of the 8th. Seawolves will look to get it going. They trail 2-0 here, going to the bottom of the 8th here at Joe Nathan Field in this win or go home game between Stony Brook and UAlbany. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB. Back to you, Zach, in the WUSB studios.
WrestleMania 2020 is an international waste minimization and recycling tournament involving over 400 universities and colleges competing in a friendly competition. The contest runs for 2 months, from February 2nd, 2020 to March 28th, 2020. The items that are recyclable as per WrestleMania are mixed paper and cardboard, bottles and cans, electronics, otherwise known as e-waste, and food waste organics. For WrestleMania 2020, facilities and services are offering free recycling.
So we're back here in the studios of WSB. Let's do one very quickly. Just a few super regional games in softball in the NCAA tournament. 2 are top 25 matchups. Actually, there is more than 2 actually. First one is the one at 1 p.m. between 3rd-ranked Alabama, 16th-ranked Kentucky, Game 1 in the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. You also get top-ranked Oklahoma and 7th-ranked Washington in the Norman Super Regional at 3 p.m. 5 p.m. SEC battle, another one between 4th-ranked Florida and Georgia in the Gainesville Super Regional. Stillwater Super Regional, 5th-ranked Oklahoma State facing 15th-ranked Texas. Let's head back to Joe Nathan Field.
Thank you, Zach. Back here at Joe Nathan Field, bottom of the 8th we go. 6 outs to go for the Stony Brook Seawolves before they are eliminated. They trail 2-0 here against UAlbany as the 9-hitter Brett Paulson steps in, takes the ball, and the count is 2-0. Thanks for joining us. I'm James D'Elia. He's Jonny Wincott. Stony Brook still down 2-0. Has only scored 2 runs so far in 2 games, as that one is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1 to Brett Paulson. Craig Schur still on the mound, still dealing. Pitch count under 90. He's only at 83 pitches, still dealing, as that one is grounded to the right side. Picked up by the second baseman, Marty. Throws on to first, and Paulson is retired. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
And not quite sure what it is, and I don't know if there is really one thing you could pinpoint with the offense for the Seawolves, but again, it's an offense that had been so strong throughout the regular season, a record-setting regular season in the America East, and they have just not been able to find much over the last 2 days in this America East tournament.
Back to the top of the lineup we go. Seawolves looking to get something done here, anything done here against Craig Schur, as John LaRocca steps in and takes a ball. LaRocca 0 for 3 on the day, 3 groundouts. Here comes the 1-0. That one catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Giordano on deck, and if he can keep it going, Chris Hamilton will follow him. Seawolves just 4 hits today. Had 10 yesterday against Maine, unable to score more than just 2 runs as they lost 4-2. Here comes the 1-1, swung on and missed. Fastball there from Schur, gets ahead on LaRocca, 1-2.
Yeah, the old adage is that hitting is contagious, but not hitting is also contagious. Sometimes all it takes is, one guy to get that knock, to get everybody else on board and get that carousel moving.
Everyone looking on. Here's the 1-2. That one laced into left field. That one will get down for a base hit. LaRocca turns the bag at first, but will hold with a 1-out single here in the bottom half of the 8th. Nice piece of hitting from John LaRocca, and looks like the Seawolves are starting to get a rally here in the bottom half of the 8th.
Well, if Evan Giordano gets a hit here quickly, I'll feel very smart. Right on cue, LaRocca does get that hit, and now both of these teams have 5 hits today. It's just similar story to yesterday. The Seawolves have not really been able to do much when they do have a base runner on.
Nobody else you really want up here other than Evan Giordano. He's 0 for 3 on the day, 0 for 7 so far in this America East tournament. First pitch, he swings to the left side, and that'll get through the hole between shortstop and third base. And Evan Giordano has a single, and then John LaRocca goes on over to second. Seawolves in business, runners on first and second, just 1 out for Chris Hamilton.
We've often made the joke, given our broadcast setup, that, maybe he actually heard you from what you said. Right after we made that comment about hitting contagious, not hitting contagious, 2 singles in 3 pitches, LaRocca and Giordano. And now it's Stony Brook's meat of the lineup coming up. It's just, who will they face? And from the looks of it, it won't be Schur.
It seems like they're going to take him out of this game as John Mueller walks patiently to the mound, talking it over. Maybe they'll keep him in. He's only had 89 pitches so far on the day, but after a couple of singles with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th, we might see a different pitcher coming in for the Great Danes. Still talking it over at the mound. Probably asking him, how do you feel? Do you want to keep going? And he will stay in this game. John Mueller will retreat back to his dugout.
I think I was just going to note, while that mound meeting was going on, a couple of the Great Danes just vacated the third base dugout and ran to the bullpen. So I think maybe now they had just gotten their guys up and throwing. So if that's the case, Schur is going to be in there for at least another batter plus.
Yeah, they got to get the warm-ups going out there in the bullpen.
Also has the advantage here of the lefty-lefty matchup with Hamilton at the dish.
So 2 on, 1 out here. Bottom half of the 8th. Albany leads 2-0 over the Seawolves. Winner of this game will play the loser of Maine versus NJIT, which will come up at 1:30 p.m. today. The loser of this game is eliminated and goes home, and their season is over. So a lot at stake here. Either of these teams, whoever wins, will have to win out if they want a chance at the America East Championship, as time is called for a second straight time. So I'm expecting they're just giving some time to their bullpen right here. They get the lefty-lefty matchup, but a lot of righties coming up. Here's the first pitch to Hamilton. That one low for ball 1.
And again, even when Schur has missed today, it's been close. You know, you give it that second pause or two, maybe it's a strike, and that's a good sign if you're the pitcher.
90th pitch thrown by Craig Schur.
And you're right, he's really taking his sweet time now in between pitches.
Yeah, getting that bullpen warm. I'm sure that's what John Mueller told him. Take your time. Here's the 1-0. That one flown into center field. Easy play should be, as it's into no man's land, but the left fielder, D'Elia, calls it off to make the catch. Big second out there for Craig Schur and this Great Danes defense. They still lead 2-0. 2 runners on, 2 outs. A lot of twos going on here.
Catcher number 45,
Gonna bring up John Tichello, the catcher.
Well, until the 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half of the 7th, Stony Brook had left a runner on base in 4 consecutive innings. And now again, this is only the second time in this game they've had 2 runners on at the same time. We'll see if they can take advantage now with 2 outs. It's their cleanup hitter, John Tichello. Not many more guys you want up in this situation.
Craig Schur staying in the game. First pitch to Tichello is in the dirt. Nice stop from the catcher, Gurnek. Keep those runners on first and second. And it's 1-0. Tichello 1 for 3 on the day. He singled back in the 6th inning, and he was left on. 2-0 still. UAlbany leads over Stony Brook. Loser is eliminated. Winner lives to see another day. Here's the 1-0. Outside for ball 2.
And the shame in all of this is that one of these teams' season's going to come to an end really maybe in a few minutes, and neither team really deserves to have that ending. The 2 division leaders throughout the regular season.
Here's the 2-0. That one low for ball 3. John Tichello winning this battle so far against Craig Schur. 3-0 the count. 2 outs, 2 runners on after the single from John LaRocca and the single from Evan Giordano. Get the Seawolves in business here in the bottom of the 8th. Schur watch the runners. First strike is called to John Tichello, and it's 3-1 now. Seawolves have 6 hits on the day, no runs. UAlbany has 2 runs on 5 hits. 6th inning proved to be the difference from an 2 RBI single from Brad Malm. Here's a 3-1, swung on and fouled back. John Tichello seemed to have swung at ball 4 right there. Made contact, and it's a full count, so the runners will be in motion. LaRocca and Giordano will be running on this pitch. Full count, 2 outs. Probably the biggest pitch of the game for either side right here coming up by Craig Schur. He sets, watches the runners. Here's the payoff pitch. That one is chopped to the left side. Going to be a tough play for O'Castle. He makes the throw, and it is high, and off the bag is File, and John Tichello is safe at first. Well, it was going to be a tough play, and O'Castle not able to come through, and the bases are loaded now for Stanton Luthner. Well, UAlbany leads the America East in fielding percentage, but that is their first error of the day. First error for either side. It'll go down as an E6, allowing Tichello to advance to first.
And you credit the catcher, you know, the position that's not supposed to be the fleetest of foot, for booking it down the line, and if not for the hustle, you don't force the shortstop into that situation.
Here's Stanton Luthner with bases loaded, 2 outs. Stony Brook trails by 2. Takes the ball low for ball 1. Craig Schur nearing that 100-pitch count. They're keeping him in this game. Seems like they will do or die with him here in this 8th inning and then take him out for the 9th. Looking to get him out of trouble here in the 8th. The 1-0 is grounded right back to Schur. Picks it up, throws on to first, and he escapes. The damage done here in the 8th inning. The Seawolves lead 3 runners on base. They leave them juiced, unable to score once again. We go to the 9th inning here at Joe Nathan Field, possibly the last inning of the Seawolves season. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB. Back to you, Zach, in the studio. Before we come back, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Riding in a car. Studies show these older children weighing approximately 40 to 80 pounds are rarely restrained properly when riding in a car. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, less than 10% of children who should be in booster seats are actually belted in properly. That's significant because traffic crashes are the #1 cause of death for children. Parents often put their kids in seat belts that don't fit properly and safely. A booster seat lifts an older child up to a height which corrects the problem. To help combat this alarming trend, the National Automobile Dealers Association has joined in a national campaign to raise public awareness of the importance of booster seat use. For more information on the proper use of booster seats, visit www.nhtsa.gov and click on Child Passenger Safety.
Back here at Joe Nathan Field, 9th inning we go. UAlbany Great Danes lead the Stony Brook Seawolves 2-0 here in this win or go home game. The winner of this game will face the loser of Maine versus NJIT, the two winners from yesterday. The loser is eliminated and they will go home. So 9th inning we go. Jared Milch still out there, as this could possibly be the last time he ever pitches in a collegiate game. First pitch to Josh Gernak is swung on and missed for strike one. Jared Milch already with 110 pitches. They're keeping him out there. Here's the 0-1, inside for ball one.
Right, and it's a valid point, because if not now, then when? There might not be a tomorrow, and there might not be a next season for a lot of these guys. If you're a senior or a grad student, this could be it.
Here's the 1-1. That one in the dirt for ball two. So Milch staying strong. 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for Milch. His ERA was lowered to 3.08. That one is chopped on to the left side. Giordano picks it up. Low throw, nice scoop play from Chris Hamilton at first to get Josh Gernak for the first out. You don't want to make any errors here. You want to limit the damage. Already 2 runs home. Seawolves not able to get it done on the bat so far. They'll have one more chance in the bottom half of the 9th. Down 2. Hopefully not more.
I'll tell you what, for as bad as the hitting struggles have been for Stony Brook, in all other departments, look pretty darn good in the last 2 days, whether it be defense or pitching. They just quite simply have not hit.
First pitch to the right fielder, Mark Wangenstein. It's outside for ball one. Wangenstein has had 2 hard hit balls, one to center, one to left field, but both were recorded out. Here's the 1-0. That one on the inside corner for strike one. So Wangenstein in his 200th game for UAlbany, 0 for 3 on the day. Here's the 1-1. That one drilled into center field. That one is deep. LaRocca, it is playable. Goes back on near the warning track to make the catch. So another hard hit ball by the right fielder Mark Wangenstein, but to no avail. It is another out.
Wangenstein ups the weight on the curls. He might have 3 home runs today.
Yeah. So 2 outs, nobody on here. Jared Milch looking to limit the Great Danes to just 2 runs here in this game, as Stony Brook trails 2-0. It brings up Will File, the first baseman. First pitch is in there for a strike.
And if you were going to tell Matt Sank that in your first 2 games, Nick DeGennaro would go 8, Milch potentially 9, I think they'd sign up for that.
The 0-1 is also in there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Another way to put it, they've only had 1 inning of bullpen so far in nearly 2 complete games.
The story so far has been this lack of Seawolves offense, as that one is raised up the ladder, and it's 1-2. In just 17 innings so far, the Seawolves have only scored 2 runs, and none today against the Great Danes. That one swung on and missed. Strike 3. And the Great Danes are set aside 7 strikeouts for Jared Milch, as his day is done. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Stony Brook Seawolves to keep their season alive. They trail 2-0 here at Joe Nathan Field. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 9th. You're listening to 90.1 WUSB.
Mitch Savino is a Jets fan. Go Jets! A really big Jets fan. In a stadium surrounded by 80,000 other screaming Jets fans, no one would know that just 2 years ago, Mitch was admitted to Stony Brook University Hospital for open heart surgery. Stony Brook has cardiac experience that no other hospital can match. We develop medical breakthroughs like RioPro, a blood thinner that revolutionized angioplasty, and the use of microwave catheter technology to treat arrhythmia. Our surgical outcomes are among the best in the state, and our follow-up care is administered by some of the most highly trained nurses in the world, all of which helps patients get back to their normal lives faster.
An interception? Are you kidding me?
Of course, normal is a relative term. To learn more about the services at Stony Brook and how we're investing $300 million over the next 3 years to enhance them, call 631-444-4393 or visit StonyBrookHospital.com. Stony Brook University Hospital. Smart medicine. Expert care.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Leading off and pinch hitting for Stony Brook, number 24, Derek Gallen.
Last chance for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Bottom 9, they trail 2-0. Craig Scherer still on the mound. James D'Elia alongside Jonny Wincott here. Could be the last half inning we see for the Stony Brook Seawolves this season, as there's the potential for a new America East champion. Craig Scherer still dealing on the mound, but he faces a new batter. It's Derek Yallen pinch hitting for Brad Hipsley. The count is 1-1. Yallen, one of the regulars we've seen throughout this Seawolves season, comes in as a pinch hitter today as that one. Breaking ball from Scherer's in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Matt Sank trying to do anything he can to get this Seawolves bats going here in the bottom of the ninth. Last chance they have to keep their season alive. Craig Scherer might be a surprise we still see him out there. Over 100 pitches as that one is laced into right field. That one is deep, landing, and it is fair ball, and it goes over the fence for a ground rule double in right field. That one just hit the tape, the white line out there in right field, and the Seawolves, when they need it most, get a leadoff double from Derek Yallen, the pinch hitter.
And immediately out of the dugout, manager John Mueller. I thought originally it was going to be maybe to yank Scherer. Instead, I think he's going to argue that call down the right field line. Like you noted, right on the chalk. We have a tough vantage point situated on the third base side of home plate. Either way, makes Matt Sank look like a genius. Brad Hipsley, who started both games, went 1 for 7, is pinch hit for by Yallen, who hadn't had any at-bats so far in this America East tournament. And now he's on second base, and that brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Evan Fox.
Well, you wanted some drama, you got it. Runner on second in Derek Yallen, nobody out here. Seawolves trail 2-0. The two-run single by Brad Malm in the 6th inning has proven to be the difference so far. But the Seawolves looking to change their fate here in the bottom of the 9th. Evan Fox, the freshman, steps in. First pitch is in there for a strike. I thought I saw some white chalk pop up on the right field line there, so not sure what Mueller was arguing there, but
I tell you what, if it was called foul, you'd have an entire fan base right there down the right field line who'd tell you what they think about the call.
Don't know what I would have done either. Good thing we don't have to worry about that. So Yallen comes in as a DH, as a pinch hitter, I should say, and he's on second with nobody out. 0-1. That one laced to the right side. Picked up by the shortstop. It's bobbled by Marty, and Evan Fox will stay on first. And he is safe as Yallen advances over to third, and the Seawolves in serious business here in the bottom of the 9th. So that last gasp looks like the has woke up the Seawolves, as that'll go down as an E4. So a second blunder in the field for the Great Danes. We don't see many of those often in the season.
No, you noted the top fielding percentage in the America East, and I thought Marty did a great job to take an angle to that baseball and get there quickly on what was a hard-hit ball, but he just didn't field it cleanly.
Was definitely going to be a tough play regardless. So nobody out, runners on the corners. That one is grounded by Cole Durkin to the right side. Marty, an easier play as a run comes home. Cole Durkin rounds out to second, but a run scores, which cuts the lead in half as Evan Fox advances over to second. So an RBI ground out for Cole Durkin makes it a 2-1 ball game here in the last of the 9th.
And again, Marty had a bit of work to do at second base to find the right angle and make the play there. As you noted, Yallen comes in to score. And now the only run that matters, if you're UAlbany, is that man on second, the tying run.
Well, the good thing here for the Seawolves is that Brett Paulson is up the 9-hitter, and they will have the top of the lineup barring a double play. after Polson with just 1 out, runner on second. First pitch is a ball from Scherer, and it's 1-0.
I'd like to just point out while we have a moment, we're in the bottom of the 9th inning in a 2-1 game in a playoff game. Bullpen's not necessary. We've had only starters today.
Jared Milch went a full 9. Craig Scherer still in this game. Just reached over 100 pitches. Evan Fox on second. Brett Polson at the plate as a fake throw over. 1 run already home here after the leadoff double from Derek Yallen, the pinch hitter. Evan Fox advanced on an error by the second baseman Marty. Cole Durkin brought in Yallen from third on an RBI ground out. That's where we stand right now. 1 out, runner on second. Here's the 1-0. That one upstairs for ball 2. John LaRocca on deck, followed by Evan Giordano. We'll see if we need that many batters as Craig Scherer still out there at 107 pitches. Here's the 2-0. Drilled into right field. That one is down for a base hit. Fox got a late start, and it's bobbled in right field. Evan Fox will come around to score, and this game is tied. Brett Polson comes through with an RBI single, and just like that, we have ourselves a brand new ball game.
I tell you what,
John LaRocca.
Evan Fox did not have a good read on that single. He hesitated for a while, and when he was coming around third, initially got the stop sign, but it was bobbled in right field by Wangenstein, and that allowed him to score without the throw. It's a UAlbany Great Danes team. We've heralded their fielding all season long. They've had errors in back-to-back innings. That won't go down as an error, I don't think.
No.
But it's a huge blunder.
2-2 game here as LaRocca lines one up the middle. It is off the shortstop's glove, and he recovers to throw onto his second baseman, Marty. So Malm, with a diving stop to knock the ball down, didn't make the catch,
Number 12,
but Polson had to hold up, and then when it was dropped, didn't have enough time to make it onto second. So a fielder's choice, as it'll go down as a 6-4 putout, and Evan Giordano steps in with 2 outs and a runner on first.
And that's quietly a great play by Malm and a huge out. The fact that they pick up not just an out to get the second out of the inning, but they do it by getting the lead runner.
Nobody else you want up here. It's Evan Giordano. First pitch swinging on the breaking ball. Nice pitch there from Scherer to get ahead 0-1. 2-2 game here. 2 runs home in the bottom of the 9th by the Seawolves. They've woken up the bats against Craig Scherer finally. And we have ourselves a brand new ball game. Interesting to see as that one is popped up on the right side of the infield, trailing out of play, and it'll go out of play off the dugout of the home team. So as I was saying, it'll be interesting to see if Stony Brook doesn't score again here to walk off, who we will see in the top half of the 10th inning. Same with UAlbany.
I'm convinced no matter how long this game goes, it'll be Scherer against Milch into their 300 pitches.
They'll be throwing 40-mile-an-hour lobs at that point. 0-2, runner goes, no throw, as that one is low for ball 1. So John LaRocca in scoring position, and a base hit could win this game for the Stony Brook Seawolves.
I'm surprised how nonchalant UAlbany handled that. I mean, you went on a good pitch, it was in the dirt, but that's a big steal.
That is huge. It could pay dividend for the Seawolves. Evan Giordano in a 1-2 hole with 2 outs and a runner on second in John LaRocca. LaRocca, as that one is laced into center field, that one is deep and it'll win! And John LaRocca rounds third, and Evan Giordano has just walked off the Seawolves to advancing on to live another day. Evan Giordano comes through again, and the Seawolves win it 3-2. The Seawolves come back from 2 down in the 9th inning to win Game 3 of this America East tournament, and they will play the loser of Maine versus NJIT following at 1:30. What an absolute great comeback by the Seawolves as they mobbed Evan Giordano in between second and
Final
first.
lines for this afternoon for UAlbany. 2 runs on
Johnny,
5
what a
hits.
game we just saw. Seawolves bats not able to get it going in that first 8 innings, I should say. They come in the 9th. A pinch hitter by Derek Yellen leads it off with a double. They get the bats going in the bottom of the 9th, score 3 runs, and take game 3 of this tournament. What a game.
You can't ask for much more out of the games that we've seen so far in this America East tournament. 4-2, 5-4, and now 3-2. And this is exactly what you want out of what's been a competitive conference throughout the entire regular season. But my goodness, Stony Brook, they couldn't get anything going offensively for 2 days. And it kind of all came to fruition in the bottom of the 9th inning. Now you think back to Wangenstein in right field, bobbling the single, and all the little, right, the stolen base, the 2 errors committed in consecutive innings by UAlbany. But that's a great point. The stolen base by LaRocca, which essentially won the game. There was no throw to second base. If Giordano hits that single into the right center field gap with him on first, LaRocca's not scoring. Instead, maybe runners on the corners for Chris Hamilton. But instead, the season lives on for the Stony Brook Seawolves. They'll still need to win quite a few games tomorrow and Sunday in order to make it work, but they are still playing baseball.
So UAlbany is eliminated from America East play. Let's recap that 9th inning for you right there. Derek Yellen comes in as the pinch hitter, laces a ground rule double on the right side. Evan Fox up next. An error from the second baseman, Marty, allows him to go on to first and third. Cole Durkin comes up, grounds out. A run comes home to cut the lead to 2-1. Brett Paulson steps in, laces an RBI single to tie the game. John LaRocca comes up, a fielder's choice, allows him to come on to first, and then he steals second as the winning run. In a 2-2 game, Evan Giordano with 2 outs and a 1-2 count, laces a ball into the right center field gap. Would have been a double, but all they needed was 1 run, and the Seawolves take game 3 of this game 3-2. Final stats, Seawolves 3 runs on 8 hits and no errors. UAlbany 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. Jared Milch goes a full 9 innings and gets the win. And the Seawolves live to see another day as they are crowded in right field, UAlbany in left field. UAlbany's season is over as NJIT and Maine will wait to take the field to practice their warm-ups as that game will start at 1:30 p.m. But that'll do it for us here at WUSB. Your Seawolves walk it off to live another day here at Joe Nathan Field. Thank you for joining us. My name is James D'Elia alongside Jonny Wincott. You have been listening to 90.1 WUSB.